Don't hate. Hey, don't hate. Welcome to 100 Yards of Football today. Today we got an NFL topic. We have the young man who signed a franchise tag with the Dallas Cowboys, Dak Prescott. He has to July 15th to sign a new deal. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. And two gentlemen that's going to help me talk about Mr. Dak Prescott and what he's mean in the National Football League over the last 4 seasons are going to help me. Two gentlemen that know all about football, and they've been outstanding with me for the last 5 months. The first gentleman, boy, can I not say he set the tone for DBU University at Florida State University. We talk about Dion, we talk about Corey Fuller, we talk about Jalen Ramsey, but this young man set the tone in the late 70s and early 80s. And he was a first-round selection of the Atlanta Falcons, 25th pick overall, and one of the most talented drafts of all time, 1981. All I have to mention is one word, Lawrence Taylor. My man, Mr. Bobby Butler. The second gentleman, I get excited because over the last 5 months, I thought I knew all about football. I really thought I did from a defensive standpoint. I went to the University of Arkansas from 1978 to 1981, and I saw Mike Singletary play at a high level at Baylor. But talking to this young man over the last 5 months and just picking his head and knowing the defensive schemes, and he's had a lot of success down there in Clayton County, in the Atlanta metro area. He's coached at Mount Zion, Dutchtown, Lovejoy, and Riverdale. And I'm not going to say he's one of the best coaches in the state of Georgia. I'm talking about on the national level. That's right. Florida, California, Texas. This guy knows defense, and he's very talented. Kevin the Bull Jones. So if you enjoy 100 Yards of Football today, as we break down Dak Prescott, please comment and share the video. Mr. Bull Jones, you've been talking for the last 2 months about Dak Prescott getting this money. And you said Dallas should have been signed him. He signed a franchise tag, $31 million. Now with Patrick Mahomes signing his new deal, where do my man Dak Prescott stands now?
Okay, so listen, Dallas fans, this is what you need to hear because I'm gonna get the butter from the duck from you on this one. You got to hear this. When it's all said and done, when you start talking about paying somebody, a quarterback, over $100 million, one of his credentials, one of the boxes you have to check is has he taken his team to a Super Bowl? That is the common denominator when you talk about that big money. Jerry Jones, as wise as he is in this game, and Jerry has given a lot of people great chances to be successful with the Cowboys. He's a man of second chances. Heck, sometimes he's even a man of third chances. But in Dak Prescott's position, I truly believe that for Dak to turn around and be offered a 5-year, $175 million contract, and for him to turn it down because he wants 4 years, and then he wants a back $45 million on the final year, that's unbelievable. It's never been heard of to be done. He would have been better signing what they were offering him. We're talking about years, we're talking about 1 year. And I understand the business part of it, but here's the thing, guys. Salary cap. Usually when you talk about salary cap, those monies got to get stretched out over some years so that you'll have some players to play with. If you make all the money and you don't have anybody to play with you because you taking up all the money, hello, Joe Flacco, you won't go to any more Super Bowls. One statistic that stands out that is extremely relevant to this situation, out of the 8 of the last 10 quarterbacks that have gone to the playoffs that had the highest cap hit for their team, 8 of the last 10 years, they have not gone to the NFL postseason playoffs. 8 out of 10 have missed the playoffs, and they had the highest cap hit for their team, which means they got all the money. So they don't have enough money to sign anybody else. So Dak, I pray that you have a great season. Hopefully you will rethink it in a couple of days because you don't have long, and come to the table and sign that contract because your boy Patrick Mahomes has created a $500 million contract, but it's stretched over 10 years, which means that gives wiggle room for the team, the Chiefs, to keep players. So Jerry Jones wants to keep players around you. And guess what, that you have got Ezekiel, the Beast Elliott. You have got Zach Martin. You got Tyron Smith. You got Jalen Smith. You got CeeDee Lamb. You got Amari Cooper. You got DeMarcus Lawrence. Hopefully, you have Aldon Smith back. When it's all said and done, that please sign the contract. And then after a few years, after you've won a few Super Bowls, which you're very close to doing, then you can go back to the table and say you want that Patrick Mahomes money, because that's the common denominator. Get the Super Bowl, win the Super Bowl, or get your team to the Super Bowl, and you get the big money. Since 2016, correct, you have had more wins than any other quarterback in the league, with the exception of Tom Brady. You have the second number, but you don't have a Super Bowl. You didn't play in February, the cold months. You haven't played then. So Jerry's being cold to you. He was not cold. He offered you $175 million, and you listen to your agent. Hey, take the money. And then guess what? After you win 2 Super Bowls, then you can turn around and say, hey, I might want to renegotiate again. Because when you play for the Cowboys, let's keep it real, guys. If you're the gunslinger for the Dallas Cowboys, man, you got all the endorsements you could ever want in your life. I mean, just look at Tony Romo. He goes from playing, he won 1 game in the playoff for the Cowboys in his career. And now he's on TV talking about football games for $17 million a year. Are you serious? That, take the money. We love you. I want to see y'all play. I really do. It's time. So, guys, if he takes the money, July 15th, I think, is the deadline, Vincent and Bobby. Hopefully, you'll see Dak be able to relax and just work on football.
Mr. Butler.
Well, I'm going to tell you this, Coach. He's not going to take the money. See, what done happened this past week? Jerry Jones would have been wise to sign him what he was asking for a few weeks ago. See, it don't get any better. So here's what I say, because this is business. We're talking about business now.
Okay.
We're talking about business. Jerry Jones is a billionaire regardless of Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott got to get his, and for his children and their children's children.
Right.
This is business. So at the end of the day, we know Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in the National Football League, hands down. Right? He just proved that he won a Super Bowl. He's younger than all of them. Right?
Right.
I get that. But what's going to happen is the same thing that happened for me back when I negotiated my last contract.
Okay.
All right? So here's what happened to me. Let me just paint the picture. They would not pay me but a certain amount. And they would put Scott Case right just below me and wouldn't pay him more than me. I was the number 1 paid DB in the secondary. Then all of a sudden, this guy came in town named Prime Time. And he broke the bank. He broke the bank. So the money that I was trying to get when I was the number 1 guy, I couldn't get it. But all of a sudden, Mr. Primetime come in. Now I'm sitting the bench, and I got a $150,000 raise sitting the bench, and I'm playing 10 plays a game. I'm a starter. I'm the man, and couldn't get it. But because Dion Primetime done broke the bank, now I'm in the game. All right? So Patrick Mahomes just broke the bank. So if we'd have did this segment last week, hey, this is my point. The quarterback market will go up every year. And hey, listen, if Jerry Jones, and I believe this, right? I really believe this. Jerry Jones is going to do what's right. Now, he can't make Dak Prescott the number 1 guy. We know that. But now, Jerry Jones has got to pay a little more because of that contract. It's just the way this thing goes. Now, you made a key point, Coach. If you stretch it out over time, you can get those other players that you need and keep them. We also do know that Dak Prescott is making a lot of money in endorsement. He is making more money in endorsement than any quarterback in the National Football League. So let's say that. So you remember when Michael Jordan wasn't making the money, he had all the endorsement money, so he kept his boys on the roster. Well, I think Dak still can get paid, and he's playing in Dallas. What does that mean? Everything in Dallas is big.
Big.
Everything in Texas is big, and Jerry Jones might have been waiting to make Dak the number one guy. I don't know, but I'm saying Dak Prescott getting ready to get paid. They should have signed him last week, and they didn't. That's all I got to say.
When you look at Dak Prescott, gentlemen, outstanding analysis. I think about the Dak Prescott situation. I think about a conversation I had with one of the best voices. And listen for this name that's doing voiceover work in the world of sports. My man out of Lufkin, Texas, Mr. Mark Bass. And we just had a conversation on Dak Prescott a couple of days ago before Patrick Mahomes signed his deal. Dak, based on him being a Cowboy, doing everything right, staying out of the public, coming in as a fourth-round draft pick in the 2016 draft, and really taking that Cowboy starting quarterback job and keeping it relevant because Tony Romo was injured. We didn't know what Dallas was going to be in the next couple of years, but this guy's kept the ship kind of steered right. And me and Mr. Bass agree that he should receive his money. But I'm looking at Dak Prescott today, and the only one thing I question about his money, he hasn't won the big game. I agree with you, Coach Jones. Bring me a Super Bowl, especially with the team you got offensively. Not before C.D. Lamb got there, but win the big game. And last year, you lost to New England in the big game. You lost to Philly when the chips was on the ground. You lost to New Orleans. That's all I was asking. But like Brother Butler said, however, with Patrick Mahomes signing his new deal, I'm looking at Dak Prescott. I got a franchise tag of $31 million. And you know what? I got a team that can get me to the Super Bowl. And I'm going to stay pat. And when I think of Dak Prescott, I think of this. The OJs, money, money, money. Do things, bad things. Then I'm looking at Dak. My mother and father from Mississippi. They got a lot of land at Oxford. They got a lot of land at Sunflower. They got a lot of land in Florida. Coach Jones, they got a lot of land in South Georgia. You see what I'm saying? And remember what Brother Butler just explained to you. It's all about taking care of your family, creating generation money. And Dak Prescott can do that. All he has to do this year is get to the Super Bowl and get his team there. And to be honest, if you want to be really realistic about it, he's won more games since he's been in the league since Tom Brady. And you look at his upside, he's did everything from a character standpoint, carrying the medal on the most scrutinized franchise in all the pro sports outside the New York Yankees. Granted, he makes a lot of money outside being a Dallas Cowboy quarterback, but if I'm Dak Prescott, I can't wait to get on the field, and all I'm looking at, I'm thinking about that OJ song. Do things, bad things, money. I'm like a kid in a cookie jar because all I got to do is perform, and I got firepower behind me. Mike McCartney, Super Bowl coach. Brother Butler said, best running back in the game, Ezekiel Elliott. Like Coach Jones said, look at the firepower on defense. 901, Mr. Poe, Jalen Smith, Lyndon Van Erst, Clinton Dix. Man, if I'm Dak Prescott, I'm thinking pockets being fat. It's going to be a great year for Dak Prescott if you can perform at a high level. And before we get off here today, we got about 7 more minutes, so I'm going to give my final co-host their final words on what I just said. Coach Jones, your final words on Mr. Prescott.
It's unprecedented for somebody to go and walk away from $175 million. It's unprecedented.
I understand what you're saying.
Because of Patrick Mahomes and what he just signed, you will not get that money you want until you go to a Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes did it in 2 years. That you've been in the league. That you've been in the league since